Hey guys, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be predicting the scores of week 36 of this 2021-2022 Championship season. Now, as always, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on last week, which was week 35. There's some amazing matches in week 35 as it happens, but top scorer in the predictions league with 14 points and 3 perfect scores was Tayyab Iqbal. So Tayyab, congratulations on that score. Myself, I only came away with 9 points and just the 1 perfect score, which was the Coventry 1-1 draw at home against Preston. So how does that affect the overall predictions table now? Well, we have a new leader at long last. I've been knocked off my perch at the top of that table. Shane O'Donnell now on 281 points with 32 perfect scores for the season. Myself, I've moved down to second position on 280 points and 50 perfect scores. Doug is still in third position on 268 and Ferris 77 on 266 points. So it's up to me and the likes of Doug, Ferris, Mark Chapman, Ad Cochran, etc. to make some wise decisions this week, and hopefully we'll be able to move up the table, and hopefully I'll be able to regain that top spot once again. But without further ado, let's just predict the scores for week 36. So first up on Friday evening, we've got Huddersfield Town coming up against Peterborough. Peterborough now rock bottom of the table, 5 defeats in their last 6 matches, and suffered a home defeat against Hull, which was really poor last time out. Huddersfield, though, go from strength to strength. Currently in third position, a fine 2-0 away victory against Birmingham in our last match, and I can only see one victor in this game, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Huddersfield under the lights on Friday evening. Next, also on Friday evening, we got Sheffield United coming up against Nottingham Forest. Now, Sheffield United currently in 7th position and Nottingham Forest in 8th. The Blades lost last time out away against Fulham. Nottingham Forest, 1 defeat in the last 6, and they did have a very good home win against Bristol City where it ended up 2-0. I think this one's going to be a very, very tight game, but I'm just going to sneak the Blades in this one by the skin of their teeth, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win. Next up, we move on to the Saturday fixtures and the lunchtime match between Fulham against Blackburn Rovers. Fulham still top of the table after, well, you could say a little bit fortunate to get a 1-0 win away against Cardiff last weekend. Blackburn still in the chase for automatic promotion. Only 1 win in the last 6 though, and that win came last time out at home against QPR. So this one, Mitrovic now with 34 goals to his name in the league this season should just come through in this game against Blackburn. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win. Then we've got Bristol City coming up against Birmingham. Tough one to call this one. Bristol City's form is ever so erratic, losing their last 2 matches against Forest and Coventry. Birmingham now slipping down the table to 20th position, only 1 win in the last 6. So I think this one's going to end up in a draw, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Next, we come to a massive game at the bottom end of the division, where the Rams of Derby coming up against Barnsley at home. Derby losing narrowly against Cardiff on Wednesday evening, and Barnsley now elevated up into the 22nd position with back-to-back wins against Middlesbrough at home, which was excellent, and an away victory against Hull City. This one though, having seen Derby in the flesh, I think as long as they're not too fussy in front of goal, I can see them sneaking this one 1-0. Next, we've got Hull City coming up against West Bromwich Albion. West Brom sinking like a stone, 5 defeats in the last 6 matches. Yeah, what is going on there at West Brom? Hull City currently in 19th position, only 1 win themselves in their last 6, and that was away against Peterborough. So this one I think is going to be tight, and I think it's going to end up all square 1-1. Then we've got Middlesbrough coming up against Luton. Now Middlesbrough just outside the playoff berths in 8th position, losing last time out away against Barnsley. Luton now in the playoff zone, 5 wins from their last 6 matches, and their last fixture was a 1-0 home win against Derby County. So in this one, I think it's going to be another tight match, but I think Middlesbrough will just sneak it 1-0. Then we've got Preston coming up against Bournemouth. Preston, you could say, is the draw specialist of the league. 14 draws out of their 35 matches so far. And Bournemouth, currently in 2nd position, 4 wins on the bounce now. A fine victory against Stoke in the last match, and a good 2-1 away win just prior to that match as well. So another tough match to call, but I think Bournemouth, the Cherries, will just sneak this one 1-0. Then we've got QPR coming up against Cardiff. Now QPR currently in 5th position, only 1 win in the last 6. The last win was at home against Blackpool on the 23rd of February. Cardiff, though, moving up the table, currently in 18th position. A good home win against Derby last time out, and they can feel unlucky, as I've already said, not to get something out of that Fulham match. So I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I think it'll end up all square 1-1. Then we've got Reading coming up against Millwall. Reading, we thought their fortunes were turning around. They are just outside the relegation zone on 29 points. However, they lost away against Blackpool. It was a heavy defeat, 4-1 in the last fixture. Millwall, meanwhile, currently in 11th position, 4 wins on the bounce, and I think Millwall are going to take all 3 points in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win. Next up, we got Stoke City coming up against Blackpool. Stoke now only 1 win in their last 6 matches. Another one of these teams who are sort of stuttering at the moment in the league. Blackpool, just above Stoke in 14th position, won their last match 4-1 against Reading at home. I think this one's going to end up all square as well. Can't decide if anyone's going to get a victory in this one, so I'm going to go for 1-1. Then we've got Swansea coming up against Coventry, another game where there's not going to be many goals. Coventry on the road this season, okay, they won 2 of their last 3 away matches, 2-1 and 3-2 respectively against Bristol City and Reading. But I think Swansea can take heart from that victory that they got away at West Brom, and I can see this one ending up all square 0-0. We now move on to the Tuesday fixtures, where we've got Barnsley coming up against Stoke. Now Barnsley, having said they won 3 of their last 4 fixtures prior to this weekend, and Stoke City, I think it was 1 victory in their last 6. So I fancy Barnsley to get something out of this one. They're going to put everything into this game, and I can see Barnsley winning this one 2-1. Then we've got Blackburn coming up against Millwall. Blackburn currently in 4th position. Millwall, with those 4 victories on the bounce, trying to get into the playoff spots, but I think this one's going to end up as a draw 1-1. Then we've got Bournemouth coming up against Peterborough. This should be a foregone conclusion. We say that, and Peterborough will probably get something out of it, but Peterborough looking really poor, 5 defeats in their last 6, whereas Bournemouth currently occupy that 2nd automatic promotion spot. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 home win to the Cherries. Then we've got Coventry coming up against Luton, another tough one to predict. This one, Coventry, we know they come back at the end of matches, but Luton now in 6th position, 5 wins in their last 6. I think they're just going to edge this one too. And then we've got Sheffield United against Middlesbrough, another fascinating match. It's 7th against 8th, both suffering defeats recently too. So I'm going to go for a Blades win in this one, just about 2-1. And the final fixture of this game week features Swansea at home against Fulham. I think Fulham, with Mitrovic, and they've just got a little bit too much quality going forward, the likes of Harry Wilson, Carvalho, etc. So I'm just going to go for an away win in this one, and I can see it ending up Swansea 0, Fulham 1. So those are my predictions for game week 36 of this championship season. Make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section. I'll total them all up, and we'll see if you can rise up the table, and let's see if we can get above Shane O'Donnell in that predictions table. But for now, I'm going to bid you all farewell, and I'll see you all in the next video.